Brought to you by...
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
A very good evening and welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 11th day of March 2022. Now before we delve into tonight's bulletin, let's first take a look at tonight's headlines.
Brought to you by...
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
In our headlines tonight, government to establish university for soldiers' children. Bicycle dealers appeal for a tax holiday. Nabakoba directs RDCs to stop land evictions. And Uganda prepares for under-17 Ethiopian return leg.
Was brought to you by... Everywhere you go, MTN.
Good evening once again and welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalu on sign language. Now we start off with our first headlining story this evening. Government of Uganda is considering establishing an army university to enable children of soldiers attain free tertiary education. President Yoweri Museveni says the university will focus on productive and relevant courses to improve on the welfare of soldiers and their offspring. He was addressing soldiers at the annual Tarehe Sita Thanksgiving service at Kololo Independence Grounds, where he explained the rise of food prices. We have the details.
Oh, the blood of Jesus.
It was a powerful sermon held on this chosen day at Kololo Independence Grounds. Deputy Chief of Defense Forces, General Peter Eluelu, did what he loves to do best, praying.
Father, save us and country us from division. And Father, may your love descend upon us. May your love descend.
This was the 11th time the Uganda People's Defense Forces was holding this annual Tarehe Sita Thanksgiving service. Bishop Joshua Were was the keynote speaker and the preacher of the day.
There is the sentiment of tribalism that is rising, and you want this spirit of nationalism and patriotism to be built.
He was concerned that the bravery of the freedom fighters was on the verge of extinction, hence the need for establishment of an archives center in Uganda.
I saw it in Israel when I went there. Young soldiers are taken to the training ground, and they're taken to Masada, where the Jews fought the Romans, and 900 plus of them died in cold blood. So they are always taken there, and they are given the story, and after that, then they are commissioned as soldiers. You used to do a pre-university training in Kyankwanzi, which we think would really be very, very good to be revived.
President Yoweri Museveni, who had arrived earlier to officiate at the event, bought the idea. He was appreciative of the role that the UPDF is playing in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
We launched the operation on the 30th of November. It's now almost 5 months. Total success. We have demolished the terrorists in that area. And we have lost only 3 soldiers in all this time.
Museveni wants children of soldiers to access free education from primary to university, where only relevant courses will be offered.
Because the courses at Makerere, some of them are women studies, conflict resolution. Please, we cannot have those courses. Let them stay in those places.
Children of soldiers under their network, Toto Wajeshi as it is dubbed, have welcomed the idea.
Really, when you look at the cosmetology, you can go anywhere around town and get that course, but these are essential courses. Talk of political science, he talked about, talk of law, talk about sciences. He really talked about things that are so beneficial to our world.
It's very good. I really welcome it warmly because it will help our children, the children of soldiers, to at least study and get skills.
And we thank the president for being there for us and for recognizing us as Mtoto wa Jeshi.
As for the increase in the prices of goods, President Museveni has highlighted the reason.
Because of the conflicts in Europe now between Russia and the other Europeans, some of the things can be produced here locally. Of course, for us, we have our foods here: bananas, cassava, millet. These are the ones I eat myself. I think those will be affected by the cost of fuel transport from the village. But otherwise, they are plenty. We don't have a shortage there. My only worry are those who eat bread. Me, I don't eat bread because I'm not a European. I eat mogo, I eat kaunga, no, not kaunga, the akalo. That's what I eat. I eat local. But the price of wheat is going to go up because apparently Russia and Ukraine are the ones who produce a lot of wheat.
The theme for the 11th UPDF Tarehe Sita annual Thanksgiving service was derived from the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verses 17. I shall not die, but I shall live and recount the deeds of the Lord. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Now, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, has directed all resident and city commissioners across the country to effectively enforce the recent guidelines issued by President Yoweri Museveni in regards to the land evictions. Nabakoba has been addressing media in Kampala this Friday afternoon. We have the details.
Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba has decried continued eviction of Ugandans despite an earlier presidential directive that they shouldn't.
I call upon the RDCs to be vigilant and give me evidence based on information collected on all evicted related matters.
With now powers vested into the hands of the district security committees to oversee evictions in the country but in consultation with the Lands Ministry, Minister Nabakoba guides as follows.
I have already addressed the RDCs on this matter through a meeting that was convened by the Minister for Presidency. The District Security Committee must now adjust their terms of reference to include implementing this important directive. The District Security Committee must ensure no land eviction takes place, especially on unregistered all land with tenants on it.
Resident district commissioners have been asked to ensure that their operations fall in line with the Land Act.
The RDCs who chair the District Security Committee, I want to remind them about some of their roles under the land sector. 1, to advise the Minister for Lands on all eviction-related matters reported in their respective districts. 2, to comply with implementing the presidential directive or the presidential ban on land evictions. 3, to monitor, inspect, and report on a monthly basis the land acquired by large-scale land investors in order to ensure that land being taken over is not occupied by tenants.
The presidential directive also puts the judiciary on notice of facing disciplinary actions in case of ordering any eviction, and this has attracted a wider discussion.
For a fountain of honor to request means that he's mindful of the role of judiciary. And I think he did it in good faith because of what is taking place in the country.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, recent findings indicate that one of Uganda martyrs by the name of Achilia Chiwanuka is a born of Chinda Mityana diocese. Now, this makes Mityana one more martyr richer, in addition to the well-known Noah Mawagali, Matia Mulumba, Luka Banabachintu, and Ambrosio Chibuka. We have the details.
It is now over 100 years since Ugandan martyrs, mostly Kabaka's pages, were killed for their faith, but studies continue to unveil the ancestry of some of them. One of the Ugandan martyrs by name of Achille Chiwanuka, whose origin was for a long time unknown, studies have indicated that he was from Lulagala village, Chinda Mityana diocese. Previously, the diocese was known to be the homeland of Noah Mawagali, Matia Mulumba, Luka Banabachintu, Ambrosio Chibuka, and now Achille Chiwanuka. According to the parish priest of Misiji, Reverend Father Achille Chiwanuka, it was discovered that Achille Chiwanuka was born in Mityana. This was during the first ever retreat for catechists from St. Luke Mityana Deanery that attracted over 300 catechists held at Nkazabuku in Busuju, the ancestral home of Noah Mawagali. The Dean of St. Luke Mityana Deanery, Reverend Father Stephen Lusiba, encouraged catechists to always be exemplary, love their vocation, and also avoid all those against the Catholic Church morals.
Encourage the catechists, first of all, to be spiritual. Secondly, to love their job. Love your job as catechists. And I wouldn't love to call it a job. Let me call it a vocation. You were called to be catechists. Love your vocation and live it. Thirdly, I'm encouraging the catechists to work harder.
The retreat was also aimed at preparing for the pilgrimage to ancestral homes of the Ugandan martyrs known to have originated from the diocese, starting on the 22nd of May 2022 in Kazabuku, 30th of May 2022 in Butega, and 31st May 2022 at Chinda Mityana Cathedral. I'm Nafka Farida and Salongo Kasvante.
Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has launched the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Programme Information Management System. The Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, says the initiative will ease the registration and monitoring of the programme.
Over 10,000 women groups have benefited from the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Programme over time. Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Among says, with the introduction of the information management system, more women are to benefit from the program.
Also to capture the application and application processes, to assess and track the beneficiaries right from the district level to the village level, which will facilitate monitoring, accountability and enhance transparency in the program under Uganda Women's Entrepreneurship Program.
State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Sarah Mateke says women entrepreneurs should be persistently supported to move from micro to macro businesses.
Examples in all groups of circles in the villages, the treasurers are women and the circles have become successful. After all the successful circles have treasurers. Women. So now if businesses can only thrive and survive on the trusted groups of categories of people, why don't we entrust these women with the resources?
However, a lot more has to be done in sensitizing men about the rights of women.
Such as land, we know there are very few women that own land. And when you don't own land, it becomes very difficult for you to develop it. But also we know there are challenges to do with market access. Even when they have produced, they do not have markets. And most of these challenges stem from the negative, inhibitive social norms that have in history made men look more predominant. And so for us as care, we come in to challenge those social norms, but we are also training men to come in as role models to be able to support women.
Over 10 women groups have received checks for the first quarter of the financial year 2022. Mary Namkose, Adia Nakuti, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
Your MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Government of Uganda, through the Uganda Bureau of Statistics (UBOS), is undertaking nationwide census mapping aimed at providing an up-to-date list of enumeration areas and administrative units in the country ahead of the National Population and Housing Census of 2023. The UBOS field teams will be using Global Positioning Systems (GPS) for mapping all administrative infrastructure, households and other facilities such as hotels, schools, hospitals and water sources to facilitate production of the updated LC1, parish, sub-county and district area maps showing all the physical features and social amenities. The census mapping will further aid development of a countrywide data for information systems as a pillar for effective implementation of the parish development model. This is to appeal to the entire government leadership, all stakeholders and the general public to support the field teams that will be deployed across the country. Announced by Dr. Chris Ndatira Muchiza, the Executive Director and Chief Statistician. For further clarifications, please contact the Office of the Executive Director on 0755 342 128.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from the break. And now with more news, the Ministry of Health is organizing a marathon this weekend aimed at mobilizing the public against tuberculosis and leprosy in Uganda. Funds raised at the marathon will be used in the construction of a TB ward at Iganga Hospital. We have the details.
Ministry of Health will this weekend conduct a TB awareness creation through a marathon race.
The TB marathon that will be held on the 13th of March 2022 here in Kampala at the Ministry of Health. The starting off point will be at the Ministry of Health and the end will be at the Ministry of Health. We want to advocate for TB services, for creating TB awareness in the communities.
An estimated 90,000 Ugandans are affected with TB, with about 30 dying of the infection daily. TB presents itself with symptoms like cough and chest pain.
You can have chest pain, you can lose weight because it causes you not to eat as you are supposed to eat, but also because you have disease in your body, the condition of the disease demands a lot of energy from the body. You also can sweat a lot at night. Now, if it is a child, and this child has tuberculosis, the child will not grow as expected. So they will not put on weight as expected for their age, but they will also not be able to say the words at the time they're supposed to say, or crawl, and so many other things that they're expected to do at different stages of their life.
An Assistant Commissioner, TB and Leprosy Program, Ministry of Health, Dr. Stavia Tuliahawe, says that they are targeting to sensitize the public about the infection. Dr. Stavia says the ministry will conduct door-to-door sensitization through the village health teams.
We are going to visit households, home to home, using the VHTs across the country. And the VHTs will be empowered on what messages, how does TB spread, the way I've explained to you, to explain to the household members in each of the households about the signs and symptoms of TB and leprosy, but also identify those that could be having the signs and symptoms of these two diseases and link them to the health system so that they can be treated.
The campaign has been organized ahead of the World TB Day celebrations slated for 24th of this month in Lear City. Miriam Numcha, UBC.
The big turn-up, mainly in government schools, is now a big challenge, especially on learning enablers, mainly desks for learners, classroom space, and teachers, among others. In Mityana district, the population of learners is more than schools had planned for, an issue that is now constraining schools management.
Although government has been constructing schools across the country, the recent COVID-19-induced lockdown has led to an increase of learners in schools. The two-year COVID-19 lockdown has contributed to shortage of space and facilities in schools. This was during Mityana District Chairperson Mugisha Patrick familiarization tour of government schools and health centers in Kalangalo and Bulera sub-counties.
Such teachers, such staffs, we are not going to work with them in Mityana. So we ask them kindly to look for other places. We have many other people who want to work with us. If you are paying you to give us a service, please do it. If you're a public servant, please do the assignment which you are assigned to do.
Mugisha promised to lobby for these schools to overcome these challenges. He, however, asked civil servants to desist from absenteeism and late coming.
If you are assigned to be at duty, try to be at duty. If we get you at work at the station, we'll make sure that you come and give a suitable reason why you are not at work. Otherwise, you'll be fired. So for this one, let us mean business. I'm calling upon all other leaders, honorable councillors, please monitor your constituents.
He also visited Bulera Health Center and was disappointed to find out that of the 10 medical workers at the health facility, only 2 were present at the time of his visit. Some of the head teachers and teachers present at the school explained some of their challenges.
We have no permanent buildings. We have only one block which has 2 classes. Even have no government teachers. So we request the government to give us some teachers.
Even parents don't want to buy uniforms for their children. Some of them, they don't bring it at school like...
I'm Nafka Farida and Salongo Kasvante.
Support in order to carry out their duties without hindrance. Members of different political affiliations want government to, in particular, support Dr. David Semfuka, who has concocted diabetes and cancer local therapy. Take a look.
The increased research on herbal medicine in the country has led to the invention of herbal medicine that allegedly cures cancer and diabetes by Dr. David Semfuka in Kampala. Members of different political parties have added their voice to the certification of Mr. Semfuka's herbal invention.
We are also making a request to our President to ensure that a speedy and fast facilitation in terms of finances and other support is accorded to David Semfuka.
Dr. Semfuka is among the few Ugandan innovators that is alleged to cure cancer and diabetes. It is alleged that many are dragging their feet towards the invasion of Dr. Semfuka, with some having fear of the innovator being taken by some countries.
After starting using Dr. Semfuka's medication, I've stabilized. And the issue now, I just want to travel back to Australia just to remove the device that was placed into my eye to contain the pressure. Otherwise, I'm feeling very well. And then all the pain that was surrounding my head, it had gone, drastically gone. And the blood sugar levels are down.
It is alleged that many are dragging their feet towards the invasion of Dr. Semfuka, with some having fear of the innovator being taken by other countries.
All are aware that the president has put in place a round table for scientists, researchers, and innovators, where a special budget has been made under the president's office to simply facilitate and fund scientists, researchers, and innovators that have helped us make so many new things. And I think Mr. David is one of those that are befitting to be beneficiaries.
Semfuka's herbal cures of both cancer and diabetes are still under community use status, with laboratories that have been used to test samples before making treatment decisions, rejecting referrals. Semfuka is said to have inherited his skills from his grandparents. He has on many occasions suspended his production and cancer treatment because of critics. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Well, we take another short break, but we return with business stories. It's UBC News Tonight.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are you a consumer? Do you purchase movable second-hand items such as motor vehicles, household items, and many others? Don't be cheated. Carry out a search on the Simple Registry and verify whether the property you're buying has been used to secure a loan. Simple is the security interest in movable property registry system. It is an online registry hosted by URSB for registration of security interests on movable property. For more information, call us on our toll-free number 0800-100006 or log on to simple.ursb.go.ug. Simple, safer lending, easier borrowing.
This message was brought to you by Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
Your MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily band of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial star 150 star 10 hash or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
All right, welcome back from that break and more news tonight. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has partnered with Environmental Alert to install renewable energy appliances in health centers of Chikube and Chibale. A commissioner in charge of renewable energy, Dr. Brian Isabidie, at the ministry has reiterated the significance of working with private sector to enhance service delivery.
Chikube district has 27 health centers and only 2 have standby generators to sustain operations. The district health officer, Dr. Richard Asaba, says the district is constrained to include planning for these health centers.
Others have solar panels, but sometimes the solar system is small. It's unable to serve the entire facility in its entirety. So the generator usually does the job, but we don't have enough of them. There are only 2 facilities.
The district relies on solar energy, though panels are expensive to maintain.
Many of our facilities actually have some sort of solar systems which are not functional. The biggest problem was the batteries went down. Now replacing batteries again is a big cost.
When you try to see Kaseta Health Center, the pole is there, but now the people, they don't have funds to extend the power or put it to go inside the hospital. So
the partnership of the Energy Ministry and non-government organization of Energy Alert intends to support health centers in these areas with energy alternative to sustain provision of health services.
Remember, these are hard to reach areas. The roads are impassable. So with the installation of these equipment, we feel the engagement which we have with the district will propel the districts to ensure that the roads are worked on.
The ministry commits for more partnerships intending to extend services to the population living in hard-to-reach areas.
Application of solar or the introduction of solar in health centers across this country and of course in schools is part of the government program through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for mainstreaming renewable energy in the different ministries, in this case health and education. So that is a deliberate effort, and today we are witnessing an example of such a mainstreaming achievement.
The commitment of these 2 entities is to run for 3 years. The Environment Alert has committed 1.2 billion shillings to work on 2 districts of Chikube and Kibale. Abdul Nasser Luwama, UBC News.
And now to our top story of the night. President Museveni, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of Uganda People's Defence Forces, has said that the Air Force has played a big role in the fight against the ADF rebels. General Museveni made the remarks at the Air Command and Leadership Training Institute in Nakasongola District, where he presented a lecture of opportunity to 62 Air Force officers who have completed a Squadron Officers Course Intake Number 1 that lasted 28 weeks. The president also commissioned the institute and passed out the officers. He observed that UPDF is providing security so that the society gets time to work for change. The president noted that the four principles that must be observed towards attaining prosperity of the people. He noted that the first principle to promote patriotism as a prerequisite towards getting prosperity. He paid tribute to the UPDF for the job well done when it launched an attack on the ADF rebels in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo on November the 30th, 2021. He observed that the training of an Air Force pilot takes 35 hours at a rate of $10,000 per hour. The president noted that Air Force pilots were currently earning 4 million Uganda shillings per month and said that this package was not sufficient. He assured them that the pay would be revised upwards as soon as resources are available. He said that it was crucial for the officers to remain alive by taking care of their lives. He warned them against being promiscuous, adding that alcoholism was very dangerous. He warned them against stealing fuel. He congratulated the graduates for passing out and wished them good luck. He commended the Army leadership for the job well done, and the President commended the best performers for their achievements. The UPDF Air Force Commander Lieutenant General Charles Lutaya said that the Uganda Air Force Academy was launched in 2009. He requested the President for more training slots for the Air Force.
They have their proverbs. They say, Twingane eturaha marwa. When you
It's Freaky Friday. Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are your children ready to learn? Schools are open. As parents and guardians, it is your duty to ensure that your children go back to school. COVID-19 prevention measures have been put in place to keep students safe as they go back to school. Not only do teachers prioritize everyone's health, including their own, but they discourage violence among students. They also ensure that students follow SOPs. Any concerns are reported to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Dear parents and guardians, you too must play your role. Ensure your children always maintain a 2-meter distance from others, avoid crowded places, regularly wash their hands with soap and water, and wear a washed and clean face mask that covers their mouths and noses. Please keep your children at home if they're feeling sick, and take note. In our effort to keep students safe, there are no visitation days or any other school visits allowed. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
All right, and now into business. Economists advise government to put more emphasis on sectors that require locally procured materials instead of the heavy machinery industries. This during the unveiling of a dissemination resource report on work and income for young men and women in Africa, organized by the Economic Policy Research Center in partnership with the African Economic Research Consortium and the Knowledge Platform on Inclusive Development in Kampala. Take a look.
Thank you.
A recent research report has indicated that limited skills and leakages in the economy have escalated joblessness in the country.
Quite a skills gap in terms of what we call highly skilled workers. This data is the 2019-2020 Uganda National Household Survey, and we find that a very small percentage of around 3%.
Accordingly, the labor market is awash with distortions, with the real wage rates dropping.
When you look at the social accounting matrix, you will see that the share of labor earnings in value added in Uganda currently stands at 26.5 of value added. The rest is paid to capital. So you can see the level of the disconnect, and yet productivity is increasing. Now, more generally, the real wage rate has been declining quite considerably.
Youth unemployment remains at stake, mainly because older persons take long to retire.
We are still complaining about unemployment. It's because the likes of you, when you grow 60, you don't want to retire. So I said, you see your age groups. Even right now, we're still being unemployed because of lack of the retirement component, that people are not leaving the jobs.
For me, my worry is the nexus of unemployment to criminology, to crime. The nexus of unemployment to alcohol and drug abuse, homelessness, theft. In other words, the cost of enforcement, law enforcement, is going to go very high.
A senior lecturer at Makerere University School of Economics, Dr. John Mutenyo wants government to focus on sectors like agriculture and tourism.
Talk about government really tackling so many things. One,
All right, well, we have come to the end of this edition of UBC News Tonight, but do join us at 10 o'clock for our second edition with much more stories. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalu on Sign Language. We will see you at 10.